Hey guys, gonna try something a little bit different this time. If you're new to the channel, that's good because the channel's new to you. It's brand new. I did an intro video the other day and I got a few others I'm working on, but those are kind of like the planned and scripted videos. I also want to just take a shot at one of these kind of impromptu reaction type of videos. I'm just trying to get reps here, get my shots up because I'm new to this whole social game and just trying to get comfortable in front of the camera. So what I noticed that I want to talk about was Palantir, right? I haven't really been following Palantir in the past. I did a little bit of work on it at the like the fourth quarter of calendar 2020, just because I was looking for candidates for my Roth portfolio, and that one just kind of seemed like it had a buzz. Peter Thiel's name is attached to it, and it's software. Software as a service is really big, getting a lot of high valuations and multiples right now. So it was worth looking at that. It was that and Open Door I was really kind of looking at as my uh, 2021 Roth contribution candidates. And I actually didn't go either way. I'll probably make a different video about my Roth and the progress on it in the future. But anyway, so I didn't go with Palantir, and then I heard some more buzz about it, saw people talking online, and so I saw the price dropping, and I said, let me take a look at this thing. And I know they had just had earnings, so I watched the video presentation, like the webcast. It was a few days ago, two to 3 days ago, and I watched it the following day, I believe. And I just wanted to give you kind of like a reaction. A little bit tongue in cheek, but the serious part of it as well. I did end up actually putting some money into it today, yesterday, and then today I kind of like scaled into it because I saw that it was going to be dropping, and I thought it was going to be dropping a little bit more with the lockup. The lockup expiring today, so I think a lot of employees were able to get out, and so that usually puts some downward pressure on the shares, which already were moving lower based on some of the results from the earnings call. So what I actually want to tell you is, if you watch this replay, the first thing that's going to jump out to you is like a 45-minute replay. The guy, right? The guy who I guess is the CEO. I think his first name is Alex. Could be wrong. But it really doesn't matter. His last name is Karp, and throughout the whole call, right, when they toss it back to this guy, whenever he speaks, it's just Karp. They only refer to him as Karp, right? Like, sports teams and stuff, people refer to people as their last name. It's fine. It's no big deal. But I never really heard it like this. It's like multiple people kicking it back to Karp, right? I'm like, look at this guy. And then the beginning of the video, this is what the most like striking thing was, right? You're ready for some prepared comments, usually happen at the beginning of a call. They cut to a video. This dude is, I guess you wouldn't say snowshoeing because he just had boots on, but he's literally outdoors walking through the snow in like some kind of pants and like one of those shiny outdoor jackets, probably lightweight and very warm, right? But this guy, he's got his hair going, and he's just walking around like like it's Wednesday, but not conference call Wednesday, not earnings report Wednesday. It's just, right? So first thing, like, this is something else. This is something different, right? And it's not just that he's outdoors getting a little bit of fresh air. He's fully walking. He's trying to monitor his breathing while he's telling you these remarks about long term. Look at the long term, not the short term. All valid points. It's fine what he's saying, but you're just like, all you're doing is staring at the background. Like, this man's snowshoeing right now, right? Did he not realize? Like, this guy might be at, and this is a judgment, right? This is a wild judgment call. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy doesn't really honor the names of days. Like, he doesn't name days. He could have been walking in the snow. I don't know. He probably would just say like 84 hours. How many days is that? Nobody really knows. They just they hit him up on the watch at some point, like, hey, it's time for the earning remarks, and he just like, oh shit, must be Wednesday, and he's like, all right, well, I got a few more miles to go, but just, and they're like, no, but it's it's now. Like, you got to do it now. He just turns on the camera and he's like, all right, guys, thanks for the results. He's not, I mean, he might not know what the results were. He might just have been walking and he just knows. So he's like, focus on the long term. Now, eventually he gets to a spot, right? He gets to a spot and he stands there and he tries to tell you about a little bit about the doubters. People doubted him in the company in the past. They said we couldn't do this and we did it. We said we couldn't do this and we did it. Right, and it's just super striking that this guy is doing this outdoors. And it's a funny thing, right? And I'm saying it like it's ridiculous because in a way it's ridiculous. But also, there is honestly a part of me who, by the way, not a financial advisor, just a guy on the internet. Don't take my advice. Don't follow anybody from the internet and then just say, oh, stock went down. It's that guy's fault. Please don't do that. But honestly, when you see a guy like this, like, the first thing I did was just like, splash water on my face, say, like, is this real life? And it was. So the second thing I did was like look up how long has this even been a company, like a private company, before they went public. And it's been years. Like, I don't know if it's 10 years, but I'm saying this seriously. My reaction is, this guy, who later, like I said, they just refer to him by last name only. Like, they've been told not to use his first name if they were even made aware that he has a first name. And also, don't look him in the eye, or you might just melt or spontaneously combust. It's like this guy's name is Carp, and he does his work outdoors. And they're like, all right, that's fine. They just go back to the cubicle and just call each other by their first and last name like normal humans. But this guy Carp, he just walks around thinking about ideas. And seriously, when I come across somebody like that, it's very rare, right? You could think, like, if this guy hasn't brought this company to zero in the first 2 years, maybe there's actually something there. Maybe Carp is a smart guy. I know Peter Thiel has been linked to this company, and then you listen to the rest of the conference, and a lot of their revenue, a lot of their clients are government. They cited like the Army, the military quite a few times. And so, I think they have 3 different like AI software platforms. Gotham was one, and I forget the name of the other 2. But it's clear they have a product that people are interested in, and they're getting a lot of they're getting a lot of wins from the government. And also, I think they had a partnership or like a major sale with IBM, and so they are kind of trying to work their way into. They cited a few times that they have so much runway, like between with the government and their current customers who are just using the software for the first few months or first few quarters and giving a lot of positive feedback, and so they think there's a lot more that they could sell into the current customer base. But also, they had just like cracked the tip of, I think they said like the Global 300, I want to say. I might have to go back and check if that's exactly what they said, but I think they referenced the Global 300 and how they only had just a few accounts there, and so there was just so much runway. Now, this was already, when I looked at it, like a 50 billion market cap company, so pretty high for only having gone public recently. And I think they didn't make a profit, even though these usually software as a service usually has very high margins. But they're just getting started, so this seems like there's a lot of runway, and there's just so much buzz. This is the type of company that you could see turning into $200, $300 billion company. And if you look online, you just see a lot of people saying, like, this is one of my forever holds. Like, this is a company that, they're going to be, right now they're at, it was $30. I think I bought my first tranche at like 28 something. Today I got in right around 25 even. But people saying this is $100 plus stock. And so it seems to be a lot of conviction in people who believe. Now, these are just other people online, so you can't trust them either. But I kind of, when I'm looking at something, I kind of roll in a bunch of different factors, and some of them are just the sentiment online, what are people saying. Then you've got, like, who they're linked to in terms of Peter Thiel and just some smart people behind it. Obviously what the business model is and what they do. Listen to the numbers. The guy's projecting. They didn't give short-term guidance, right? Which I think some of what like the market really likes short-term info, but they didn't give short-term guidance. Instead, they said for the next 5 years, they expect a return of at least 30% per year. So, I mean, I'm a big Tesla guy. They're always saying about 50% per year, and that's so much runway. And 30% a year sounded really, positive to me as well. So, between, to be real serious about this, between the guidance, focus on long term, which is something I really do. I like to see the margins of software businesses, the mystery a little bit, the fact that their product is I mean they have a description of what their product is, but it seems like when people talk about Palantir, there's like some intrigue about like what exactly are these guys doing? It's software. Probably late in the video to say this, but what the website was saying is basically they're connecting all your data in a way that hasn't been done before. So you have your CRM platform, but then you also have information in like your email, like all the emails that your employees have. That's a source of information, but that's not connected usually to your other platforms, and so they show like a spider web, and it's connecting all these, taking all the information from all the different sources, and then kind of parsing that and getting the signal there, right? So it's getting good feedback, and so it seems like something that could have a lot of runway. Then you combine that with kind of like the nuttiness of this carp character, and that's why I say it's a little tongue-in-cheek, but at the same time, I think there's something there. People say like Steve Jobs was pretty crazy. They say Elon's crazy, right? So these crazy guys, they either crash and burn, or if they don't, and this company's been around for a while, if they don't, there is the opportunity to not play by the traditional rules, and there is some precedent doing really well with that style. So I don't know who's interested in Palantir, but check out that video. It's on the website, obviously. You just watch the webcast. They have like a slideshow. They did a few analyst questions at the end, so there's a little bit of the traditional stuff in there as well. But check that out if you want to. I just want to do a quick kind of reaction video. It was very interesting. It was not the traditional call, and a really interesting mix of something you could see really having like a long-term path, and really being a company that triples. If this company 3 to 10x it's a lot. It's a big range, but say 3x in 1 to 2 years, and 10x in 5 years, I wouldn't be surprised. But again, I'm a guy on the internet, and that's just like a cursory response. Some of that's from listening, and some of that's just kind of like, I don't know, sometimes you get a feel about these kind of things, and obviously don't trust somebody else's feel. But that was my feel. It's like this carp character, make sure I don't call him by his first name, but this carp character just snowshoeing in the woods. Like, first, is this guy all right? Is he coming back? Or this is an indefinite, like he's sleeping in an igloo tonight or something? I have no idea. I hope he's all right. But didn't seem like it's the first time he's done this. So the craziness, the wackiness of this guy was actually like combined with everything else. I saw it as a positive, and so I said, with the lockup, and the shares were trading as high as, I want to say 39, maybe a little less than 40 mid-January, and now they're down. I think at some point today they opened under 25, so kind of a big discount from where they've been really recently, and that's another kind of layer, another thing that I look at, and I'm like, okay, so the market was okay with these guys being $40 stock just a month ago. The earnings didn't seem bad. They just, they didn't give short-term guidance, and they got the IPO shares, the lockup expired. So that seems like every company that has that seems to have a dip. So I wouldn't be surprised if this stock trading right now closed right around 25 even. If this thing was back at 35 in, 2 weeks to a month, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And maybe it'll consolidate. Maybe it'll stay in the 20s for 4 months. I have no idea, but I got in there and I wanted to get some shares there, and I think that I could see like a really quick rebound, and maybe I get rid of some of those shares if it's a quick rebound, or if it didn't, I think I'm comfortable because I think this is like a long term. It's gonna multiply. This is gonna be something you're gonna see 2, 3, 5x on in 2 years. So if I have to hold, that's fine. Also, a stock like this, which I don't do it, which I haven't done a ton of research on in the past, might be a good candidate for selling covered calls, because it's not like I'm tied to it. I'm not married to this stock the way I have like some really high conviction names, Apple, Tesla. Like, I'm not going to sell covered calls just in case those get called away. So, all right, that's my reaction video, and try to do a few more of these. Like I said, I'm trying to get used to being on camera, and I got some like more, not scripted, but videos I've planned, and then when things kind of come up, I'm going to try to do this as well, and get my reps, get used to being on the camera. And thanks for joining me if you did, and talk to you next time. Thanks, guys.